LLC. I'm so glad that a lot of this stuff is coming out into the light. I'm very happy that I will be taking this individual, Jamie, to court because he does need to go to court. He needs to be prosecuted for the things he's done. As I said before, we all know that you don't go around touching people's copyrights without their permission because this could actually end up with some serious consequences. And this is where this individual has ended up in. He's going to be going to court. He's got to answer for what he's done, and in the process, he will be sued because, again, he has no way of winning this whatsoever at all, period. The only way you could literally get out of this, unless our copyrights are fake, which they're not, we gave him permission, which we did not. That's pretty much it. That's all he had. I think there was like 3 options in there. And the other one, he has to be to show like he's did really serious damage. That's displaying, using, defacing, or basically altering or changing our copyrights, which he did all of those, even claiming they were his. So again, he's already done. All right. So as you can see, this is our account right here. He's extremely upset. This is how he reacts. Usually when we get emails like this or messages from him like this, that means he's very irritated, and it means what we did pretty much did what it was done trying to do. It basically exposed him, and this is a reaction of being exposed. He got exposed because he was claiming that our products were made with black fabric, and again, we have tests going back to the 7th of doing demonstrations versus black blackout cloth. He claimed our products were black paints. We used the very same paint that he tried to claim our products were at the end of the day, and our products weren't. Actually, we used the Dynasty 7, Dynasty Black by Home Depot. So when I showed you the emails of him spamming our accounts, screaming and carrying on, crying and whining, this is what he does. This is one of the things, and why Jamie's being sued for a couple of lawsuits that are coming toward him. We are also in the process of filing a second lawsuit to the CCP for the Black Series edition because he did violate that too also. So there's another lawsuit coming for Jamie. But I want you to see this right here. This is how he reacts. And I told you, this is how this person acts. He has no self-control. He's just, again, out of control. And this is, again, a person, as I stated before, I would not put a credit card or any form of information in to begin with. We're going to be talking about Part 10 in a few minutes. There's a lot we need to talk about him. And the reason why his products or his new PSP paints need to be tested. They need to be tested against gray screen paints to see exactly how close they come up to everyday household products. And they need to have some form of testing on these products. I'm talking about live demonstrations, demonstrations in fully lit environments, demonstrations in certified screens, everything and anything, it needs to be tested. And if he brings these products out and there's no test around along with them, this is another reason why to avoid this person at all costs. All right, so usually we're going to block all these. I was actually interested in this. So my Google site ended up getting 584 clicks today. That's pretty cool right there. I told you, my site, basically, people who run through my site, I do about 1 million people that go through my site. So, you know, that's pretty cool to have that click that Google shows us exactly our clicks on how much we get. I might check my Google search engine optimizer and see how we need to go in there and basically upgrade some stuff in there too on top of that, because I got some new stuff to add in today. But this is just the usual nonsense that we get from him. I'm carrying on and acting up. This is just Jamie upset. Jamie, let me explain something to you. This doesn't bother me. What this tells me at the end of the day, we hit the nail on the hammer. We got to you, as we were supposed to do. Because you won't see me sending you tons of spam mail. You won't see me doing any of that at all, period. You do this nonsense because you do this every time you get busted and exposed. You got exposed on the cloth. We've been doing that since the 7s. You tried to make our screen paint and you failed miserably. Came up with gray rollers. Who in the right mind paints a black screen comes up with gray rollers? That was a tremendous fail, and that was a huge, massive amount of egg on your face. And you're trying to come back from that. There's no coming back from that. That's done. That's it. You can't make our products and never could make our products, and that's how it's always been. You don't even make your own products correctly. Arming customers with information to ask for products to be tested before they buy them. Well, that's another one he didn't like either, period. He didn't want customers asking those questions. Giving customers information on how to make free gray screen paint products. Again, we were making this stuff before you ever existed on YouTube, so we have first rights. So you got very upset over that one right there. So if you feel that, and again, I can't express this enough, I know your customers have been pressuring you on the network grade, not network grade, the slip silver. I know they've been pressuring you. The more emails that we receive from this guy, the more pressure we know he's getting. This is the same fluctuation reaction we got on the network grade 773. And the time we showed it off and we asked customers to request for him to do the test, the numbers started to jump on how much he was spamming us. And that tells us at the end of the day that he's getting a lot of pressure from the customers. And that's what's going on right now. This is the activity it picks up. So these were sent. Let me show you how close they were sent. Now, it was recently sent 15 minutes, 16 minutes. He actually sends them back to back to back. I'm not really interested in that. That's what I found impressive today. 584 clicks on our site already today. That number's going to jump when we go offline because we're going to be advertising that website everywhere. But other than that, this is what we do. This is how we handle the Jamie problem. We go in here and we just block and report. That's it. That's all we do. So you waste all that time to come in here, write something stupid for me just to do this. That's a lot of time well spent. Fernando, if you have the time to come in here and send us hate mail because you're upset because you got exposed, then you need to take the time to do the slip silver because you seem to have a lot of time on your hands. All right, let's get back over here to part 10. Now, Danny boy, I can't explain this enough. You bring it, your product, this is what it is. It's red wagon effect. Red wagon effect is where someone basically sells you a red wagon, jumps over your gate, paints it a different color, and it comes right back to your house to sell you a different color wagon. That's what your product is. Same product, different color container. That's all it is. Because your specification sheet is exactly the same way. And again, you have this, I don't know what the freak that's supposed to be. Two different games on your screen paint. That is virtually impossible. There's only one game you can have on a screen paint. You can't have one and then the other. It doesn't work that way. As I told you before, when this product comes out, it's going to have a 4-code application because the entire website is based off of that. Even the paint on surface that you have to paint this line in. And again, at least when you had different colors, for some people it could have been somewhat believable. I don't know. But if it's all the same color, why would I paint the same screen in 4 times? That's me going to Home Depot and says, hey, I need wall paint. How many times am I going to paint this in? You're going to have to paint that wall 4 times. It doesn't even make any sense. It's the same color. So what happens if I paint it 3 times? What's the difference? Oh, you can't come on camera and say there's going to be a difference if you paint the same color in 4 times. Because there isn't. It's just the same color. You see how dumb that sounds at the end of the day? Yeah, I'm going to paint a 150-inch screen in 4 times. No, it's not going to happen. No customer is going to ever do that. Light gray. Okay, light gray. So that falls in the category of network gray 773 and the slip silver, which I'm dying to see you do these products, these tests against these products. I can't wait to see it. So you have a lot of testing to do. Okay, questions we need here, we're not seeing. What's the lowest amount of lumens that can be used on your projector if any of this was tested? Are your projectors tested on 720p? What's the reaction on that? You need quite a lot of those. Is the screen paint designed for outside? What time of the day does it trigger off? Certain screen paints don't trigger off at a certain time of the day. Can you pick up contrast while you're outside with this screen? Is it fully weatherproof? It has been tested in snow, freezing weather, and heat, and so forth, rain, all those different conditions. You have to test that on fabric because you have to fold that up and put it up and fold it up and put it up and fold it up and put it up to make sure it doesn't crack or peel like we have to do with 250-inch screen, 80-inch screen, 250-inch screens, 120-inch screens. You know what I'm talking about. Motorized projection screens. How many demonstrations have you done on motorized projection screens? Which means you have to do a stress test with roll the screen up, roll it down, roll it up, roll it down. I've done tons of demonstrations of rolling the screen up and down. It's not even funny. You can't even count how many times I did it. Where's the difference between your white product and a white surface at 1,000 lumens? Which means you're going to have to be back at a distance test at around 16 feet You're going to have to show a white surface and have to show the difference and benefit of your product over a white surface. Are you going to match it? Is it going to look the same? Can you show a significant large difference? Do you have color patterns attached to it? Judging by the timeline that you have that's running down in April, because you're supposed to have this product available in April, you really don't have enough time to do tests. You're going to have to test every single one of those. The black screen paint's going to have to go through even more testing than the rest of them, because again, I told you, black screens are extremely temperamental and they require a ton of testing behind them. I mean, tons of testing called black versus black, which means you have to convince the customer at the end of the day that they're not just buying black paint. It's a difference between the product. Yeah, good luck with that one. That's a real stressful one to go through. So there's so much stuff missing. What about the viewing angle? We're talking about viewing angle at nighttime, because anything will pick up at nighttime. You have to do viewing angle in a fully lit environment. Demonstrations done with meters, lux meters, which means all meters must be in the center of the floor, and it helps if you max out. That kind of works out much better for you. Does your product hotspot? How many different forms of venue projectors? How many venue projectors do you even own? You need about 6 of those, at least in order for that to work, because all different projectors of venues actually fire off in different reactions. And on top of that, you have to work this on short throw, ultra short throw, long throw projectors, and on top of that, 1,000 lumen or pico projectors to make sure you do pull up. There's a lot you have to do. If you're basically saying that your product is #1 and the best, guess what? You got to go against the mighty certified screens, which now you're going to be in Gunmetal City, and that is a brutal area to be in, because gunmetals are extremely good screens, especially if you have light gray products. And for some reason, they beat the crap out of charcoal screen paints. I mean, they really do beat the crap out of charcoal screen paints. We know it because we tested the Dark Star 9 against the UV mix, and the Dark Star 9 beat the living crap out of the UV mix. I mean, literally beat the crap out of it. It's the reason why it's a $3,000 projection screen. That's why. One of the most notorious gunmetal screens, in order to basically reach our level, you have to take out a black diamond. Good luck on that one, because that is an extremely brutal screen. I'm not saying this for the fact that I'm not a big fan of black diamond. I told you at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of what they did to us, but I do appreciate good technology when I see it, and that's a screen that none of y'all can ever pass, because I've never, ever, 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 ever seen a demonstration of y'all versus SL technology. Anybody can name one? Anyone? Because they don't do that. You can't beat an SL screen. It's virtually impossible. Well, we can, but they can't. You literally have to have the screen darker than theirs. That screen generates a ton of freaking white light. I don't know how they do it, but it's pretty interesting to watch. And so I realized that you're talking about a person who made gray screen paint products and really believed that gray screen paint products were the future until I saw a sheet of black diamond, and now I make black technology. So that should tell you how good their products are. And mind you, my gray screen paint product wasn't sitting up on YouTube. My gray screen product was actually contracted with a company overseas. So it was extremely good. It was actually better than everybody else's because I had the contracts, not them. And yet, I'm designing black technology. So that should tell you something right there on how insane a diamond technology screen is. All right, let me see from here. Gain 9, that's not gonna work at the thing. So as for the light gray, yeah, he's gonna test that against gray sheets. Whew, gray sheets are a headache. He's gonna have to do this against different forms of gray paints to see if this product doesn't match the same. Roll on or spray on. This is where I have a problem right here. If it's a front and rear roll on screen, you can't roll on rear screens. That's virtually impossible. Because what happens is any imperfection from the roller is going to show up on the opposite side of the screen when it comes to invisible screens. I know, because I'm an expert in that field too, because I actually do design invisible technology. And we've been doing it for quite some time. As a matter of fact, I was developing invisible technology in, how far was that back? In 2008? Yeah, 2008. We're working on invisible technology. So, Danny, compared to my knowledge, compared to yours, I am way beyond you because I've been here way longer than you ever have been. And I can go back and show you 8 years back where we had invisible technology. And the first thing we noticed that when we rolled it on, the imperfections from the roller, and I don't care if you use foam rollers, it still transfers over to the front projection of the screen. You mark it pretty bad. That's why every single rear projection screen is a spray-on application. Every single one of them. Can't roll them in. They get messed up. All kinds of lint from the roller. It's a mess. So it doesn't work. So I don't know how you're making a roll-on or spray-on front and rear screen paint. Now, that doesn't make any sense at all. You're going to mark your screen up. And keep in mind, every roller is going to, and every customer is going to be able to put out a perfect roll. Yeah, customer's going to go up and down and up and down, and they're going to have streak marks all on the screen because that's an extremely fine formula in order to be transparent. It's not thick and dense. It has to be very thin. It's very fine. So that's going to be a problem right there, too. Hope it's not water. What's the deal with you guys in water? Literally, we just watched Jamie do that. Put water in paint. You should not be putting water in paint. That's how you break down the elements and weaken the elements, by dropping water into it. Oh, he didn't even tell you what that was for. He just said, what? Of what? That's it. What was it for? Why did you put water in the paint? Can't even tell you why. Try to make it sound like it's real technical. I don't know. Let me see. We don't know anything about the drying fast. I don't think about that in the day. I don't know how fast the product dries. I really can't say that. But I do know for a fact that you do a spray-on application for a rear technology, you're not rolling that on. You will definitely jack the screen up big time. There'll be all kinds of marks and imperfections, and then everybody's going to be good. Some people never painted a day in their life. They're going to jack it up the worst. And those who basically have some feel in painting, they're still going to jack it up because you're still going to leave some kind of streak mark to the roller. Let me see. 32 ounces paints a 150-inch screen. With this new stuff you have, you got to do a paint down, which means you're going to have to do a 150-inch screen paint down and have this much paint left over just in case the customer decides to go heavy on the screen. Well, there's so much missing out of this. What is it? Is it low VOC? Is it eco-friendly? Is it a water-based product? That's something that's really important, because especially if you put it into a paint spray, you want to make sure there's no really toxic chemicals. Once it goes to a paint spray, it automatically becomes airborne. If you're saying it has to be sprayed on, where are the rest of the instructions for spray on? Well-ventilated system, which customers need to know that. You have to use a painter's mask. Definitely painter's glasses, because that stuff can spray into your eyes and you have some problems after that. What about cleanup? It should be cleaned up with hot water, mild soaps, or warm water. You don't have any of that either. There's no basically warning signs for keeping out of for pets and children. Also, too, what about storage? What's the storage and shelf life on the product? How long can a person have this, he or she, in their garage? And also, top of that, what is the proper storage for this? Basically, we have us in a room temperature. Because last thing you want to do, some people have done this in the past and have blown their houses up or burned their houses to the ground. They will stick paint behind the back of a heating system because they feel that the cold is going to basically damage the product. Yeah, that's something you do not ever want to do. So basically, you have to put that out there, even though people may know better. It still has to be there. Let me see what else we have here. Surface. You're missing an entire paragraph on what surface can you paint it on. So how many different surfaces have you applied this on? We have everything down there. I don't know why we don't put down. Well, fabric's in the same run as bed sheets. But some stuff doesn't grab well. Like for us, on our end, we don't paint over stucco. Stucco is a headache. Orange peel is a headache. We don't paint over that. We put that down there clear and plainly. Polyester tarps, really bad idea because it doesn't work on our product. It literally slides off when it gets wet, and it will crack and peel in the process, which is funny. And inflatable projection screens, we have a special coating for that because inflatable projection screens, as I told you before, has an extremely temperamental surface. As you saw when he painted the inflatable screen outside, you saw the patches in the areas that were coming up. Some were darker, yeah, it's a mess to paint those things. We literally had to figure something out to paint those. They're nightmares. Let me see. What about also to other paint-on applications, as in child-proof walls? I don't know how your stuff may react to it. Ours don't do well on child-proof walls. That's why we have you have to prime the surface. We also too advise you to prime the surface if you're using fabric. Why? Because you paint fabric, it absorbs like a sponge. So you have some areas that will be spotty because they're lighter, because they absorb less, and some will absorb more. So it's best to put 2 applications of primer on it, so that way it absorbs as much paint as it possibly can, and then you can apply the application. He doesn't have any of that on there to begin with. So all that's basically missing off the site. Let me see. We'll pull up one of our specification sheets. Now, mind you, whatever you talk about on camera, whatever you say, you're literally going to have to back it up on a specification sheet, because anybody can just go through and go whoop right to your page and then go through YouTube like we did with somebody else's page. You spent 3 hours going through the specification sheet and there was no test. There was nothing coming up at all whatsoever. I'm still fighting with the splash sheet. It's an ongoing battle, but I will win this. Anyway, that's something else too I got to fix on it too. I'm working on it today too. If you go in there and the page goes all white, yeah, that's what we're working on right now. We're trying to remove it. All right, let me see what we got going on here. These are our specification sheets. Let's just grab a 24 right there. All right. Now links, you don't got to put those in, really don't care. Also to the color of the product, which actually does have the color of the product. Can't say it because there is a color of each product. Unlike the other one, everything else is gunmetal. I don't know where to go with that one. And the rest of it just doesn't have color attached to it. I don't know if you do category class. Category class, we do category class on what we actually different products are. Our gain is engineered, so you have two different versions of gain. I don't know how that even works. I don't know. Let's see. Lowest amount of lumens are is 1500 lumens. You don't have projector mapping capabilities because you don't have the equipment, nor do you have done any of the tests, so you can't make that statement. Roll on or spray on application. You also too have to explain exactly what type your product is. Like, what is the physical product of your product? Is it a physical projection screen or is it a screen paint powered product? Even though you know that at the end of the day, sometimes customers don't. I get it all the time from customers saying, hey, it's a physical screen. It's right there on the website saying it's not a physical screen, it's an actual paint. So you have to have it on there. Viewing info, which is product type. Product type, which tells you it's a physical, sorry about that, I got you guys over here. Tells you it's a roll-on application. This is not a physical projection screen. That has to be on there. Very important. Viewing angles. What is the viewing angles on your product? 190 degrees. You got to do that in a fully lit environment. We do ours against certified ultra short throws. I might gotta go put some orders in too. Color, which we have OLED black, not gunmetal gray. Jamie, you may want to look at this right here. This is what I have on my website. See what that says? Ultra OLED black, not gunmetal gray or dark gray. That's what you made. You made dark gray paint. All right, let's move on from here. Let's see, it explains the thing about OLED black, why it's called OLED black, because it dropped black levels. It also explains that white levels will drop, and it explains that right there. Everything's up close. We tell everybody everything that goes on with the product. We don't leave anything out. This is why I tell you that people have weak specification sheets. Number one, don't know their product. Number two, don't test their product. Number three, don't know their product. I know I said that twice, but I had to put it in there again. All right. White level capabilities. Again, how do we know all this? If you look this up, you'll see tons of demonstrations of white surfaces, white sheets, and blah, 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 blah. We do it all the time. We tell you what the white capabilities are on the product, right there. Let me see. Let's see right here. Customization, product shown it's a customization item. Paint on application info. You literally need to have this in here because again, customers or somebody who could be painting the screen. Some customers will pay a painter to paint the screen, and the painter will contact you and say, hey, which surface can I paint this in? Do I have to put primer in this to thin this out? Will this go through a paint sprayer? There are a whole lot of questions that will pop up. Let's see. So basically, how you have underneath your product is just paint on and roll on. That's it. That's started out. What type of paint sprayer? We like the Wagner 250. We've used it dozens and tons of times in videos, so that's the one we actually stand by. So it's always good to have a paint sprayer that you have used multiple times that you can basically have a good feel for your product, and you can actually use that as a preference to your customers or reference to your customers on this was what I like. I kind of like the Wagner, but you can use other stuff too, but we prefer Wagners. All right, and here it says right here, please use in a well-ventilated area with safety glasses and safety painter masks. You need to have that in there. You don't have that in your specification sheet. Neither does James, or James doesn't have Jack in his specification sheet. Literally, I can get more information off a box, a bottle of Anderson that I can get off his specification sheets. Okay, you have safety glasses, safety mask, one coat on application. We know you don't have that at all, period. So we'll move on from there. What applications and what surface require priming? We have down fabric and we have down we have fabric. Please note fabric, 2 coats applications we need it to give the surface an even layer. Yeah, because you'll definitely have uneven spots in there. Don't want to do that too much. And also to child-proof walls, which we found out a few times. Our product does not work well. It requires a lot of priming. Painting the walls in here were a freaking headache. Let's see. What kind of rollers can they use? Now, some people like the 4-inch, some people like the 3. There's 9-inch, there's 12-inch nap rollers. What type of roller? We use a 9-inch nap roller. That's all we use in our demonstration. We have people come in and say, no, no, we use 9-inch because everything else will streak the crap out of your screen. Foam rollers will definitely streak the daylights out of your screen. Foam rollers are not used for acrylic paint. They're used for more like a stain, more like a, like a stained finish. That's what foam rollers are used. Anybody have wood shop before? Yeah, there you go. We use those in there. Do not paint the screen using brushes or foam rollers. Very important to have that information there, so that way the customer knows never to use a paintbrush. You'd be surprised how many people have used paintbrushes. We literally have talked about that multiple times. I've literally had people paint a screen with a paintbrush. So that's why we have it right there, because this will damage the screen. Foam rollers, paintbrushes, this will damage and mark the screen. You have to say why and what's going to happen in the reaction if you do so. This is why when we look on Jamie's site and it says that Frankenstein can't be used, it doesn't suggest it inside of a home. Why can't it be used inside of a home? You completely left that blank. Just like when we're trying to make our products, you tell people to put water in it. Why is water added into it? You didn't finish that, did you? Okay, you're just making it up as you go along. All right, see, damage the screen. At the bottom it says, please, when painting a child-proof wall, it says it right there, see? When painting a child-proof wall, we request for you to prime. Because we had that experience, we know already from the door what happens. It's a nightmare. Also, too, it says low odor, low VOC, eco-friendly, and water-based, 100%, which is important for people that are basically spraying the screen. What's your drying time on your screen? You have the drying time on your screen. It's in multiple different versions of drying the screen. Oh, gee whiz. Bars is 30 minutes with a fan, depending on the size of the screen. 100-inch, 30 minutes. Deciding on the size of the screen. I've literally painted and dried so many screens on YouTube, it's not even funny. As a matter of fact, here we literally dried 159-inch screen without a fan, because I don't have any fans here. So we dried all the screens in here without a fan. Didn't take us a day, did it? Nope. Let me see. This is policies you're going to have shipping policies, buyer remorse policies, cancellation policies, exchange and return policies. All this has to be listed in 2 different places here, and you have to have a page by itself. He literally does have a page by itself that does say that. As you can see, this is it. This is all he has in the specification. That, are you kidding me? My page that I have to explain on a different surface you can paint on is way bigger than that. That's all you got right there, people. And he's calling it a Daystar. Daystar is actually somebody else's name. I've heard of Daystar before. Why does that sound familiar? Daystar. I've heard that before. I know I heard that before. Daystar Television. Spreading the gospel by television. Yeah, that's the name of a company. We just ripping people's stuff off left and right, ain't you? I don't see your name anywhere on the Daystar, your product. If I type in my name, any of my products, they pop up. Daystar is a TV network station for gossip music. There it is right there, gospel music. That's Daystar. I knew I heard that somewhere. I'm like, wait a minute. I heard that somewhere before. Well, we all know that's not yours. All right, let's move on from there. This is what I find interesting about the new PSP. It's the PSP. Isn't that a gaming system, the PSP? Yeah, it's a Sony portable gaming system. All right, this just gets weirder as you go along. But anyway, so basically all he did was come in and change the name of the package, Red Wagon Effect. It still has the same application. Let me shrink this down for you a little bit here. Come on, work with me. Don't fight me. All right. It still has the same application. This is the same application, and we're going through. You got to paint it 4 different times. I don't even know how he's even going to do this at all, period, to tell you the truth, honestly. Because that means if he calls himself making new ingredients, that means he'll have to change out the entire specification sheet on how it has to be painted in, because he made it so complicated and so complex that, again, he's going to have to get rid of all of this. It doesn't make any sense to come out with a new screen paint and you literally have to still paint it in 4 times. You look through it and read through it yourself. Same chart. You're going to have to what? Draw a straight line across the screen to paint it in? That doesn't make any sense. That's just going to irritate the daylights out of a customer. It really is going to irritate the crap out of them. You look at some of this we have in here. It is completely bogus. A lot, man. You got to back all this stuff up. Everything you're seeing here, you're going to have to back this up. I hope there's no water in this product like the last one. We never even got a chance to get our hands on the last one because, as I told you before, we're waiting for the shopping carts to open because we were going to buy one and drain the water out of it to see whether or not if the product was going to evaporate, but I doubt that was ever going to happen. So he came in and he changed it now to 32 ounces instead of the 48, because the 48 would have cost him way too much money to do. And again, it still requires 4 applications. So same ingredients, it's literally the same ingredients and same instructions. Yep, exact same instructions as the first one. So that's freaking confusing. How the frick are you basically going to make a whole new product and it literally has the exact same instructions as the first one? Oh, as for drying time, as I told you, this is a confusing drying time. So the confusing drying time is, let's see, the polymers, he loves this word. Do not, about a period of 5 to 7 days. So I don't understand what you're doing here. You heard that we can't say part 2, you don't own that. You said Danny's coatings are not a paint. Generally cures paint generally cures rather quickly. Our coating will continue to cure. This is not drying time. Then I might just buy the paint because the paint dries faster. You just literally just said that paint dries faster. So might just use paint. About 5 to 7 days. It takes 5 to 7 days for the screen to dry. And because it's recommended, do not wipe the screen until after 24 hours. That's crazy. That's 5 to 7 days and 24 hours? That's nuts at the end of the day. Who the freak's gonna wait 5 to 7 days for a screen to dry? Or 24 hours? It's still wet in 24 hours? We dry a screen in 30 minutes at 150 easily. I've done it dozens of times. We actually sat here and watched the screen dry. I mean, literally watched paint dry. And 24 hours? I can literally dry a screen less than 24 hours without a fan, in window shut. That is bonkers. There you go. It's right there. It's written right there. I'm not making any of this up. You can see I go straight to these sites. I don't make anything up. Will never see me on camera saying, oh, they did this and did that, and this is what their products do. I will back up everything I say. I will go here and show you the video, show it here on the website. This is what it says. If I tell you that Jamie doesn't have any form of specification sheets, nothing on his site makes any sense. He's ripping people off in shipping. If I told you this, I'm guaranteed I can go to the website and point it out and you can see it yourself. Or if you want to, take the trip yourself. And you can read through it yourself. And I guarantee when you come out of there, you'll be like, what? You'll be scratching your head trying to figure out, like, what the freak did I just read? This nonsense right here. This nonsense. I don't know why he's going to leave this here. If I were you, I'd just remove this. This number 1 shows multiple problems here. I don't even know where to start with this. We're just going to brush this real quick. We've been through so many times, it's not even funny. Number 1, it has to come in 4 containers if it's 4 different colors. You said it's coming in 4 different colors. Video at the top shows 4 different colors, so it has to come in 4 different containers. There's no other way to ship it. It's virtually impossible. And if you have figured out a way how to ship 4 different colors in one container without having cross-contamination, you're an extremely rich man. Because you have any idea how much time that would save at Home Depot? You have to carry 4 cans of different color paints back to your car, and someone figured out a way to do it all in one container without them basically mixing into each other. There you go. Very rich man. But that's not possible. So yeah, move on. Your product in here, nothing but water, because what we saw, it's half and half water. So that raises the question right there on how much paint are you buying and how much is water at the end of the day. It's like the equivalent of going to a bar. The first drink is real, the rest of them are all watered down. Not saying everybody does that, so please don't take that to heart if you own a bar. So water down drinks. So he pretty much watered down the product. And again, he had to paint the product multiple times, and it wouldn't even cover it due to the fact there was so much water in the product, it weakened the structure of the paint. Moving on from there. This is crazy. So in this one, if you watch it, give you a chance to watch it yourself, this demonstration, he did all that instruction on the first video demonstration to show you how to paint the screen to come in and match a wall. Well, what's the point of me doing all those instructions, painting the screen, putting the line in up and down, blah, 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 if you match a wall? It's mod to figure out what color the wall is and just paint the wall. Pretty sure you're going to put the wall in 4 or 5 times, and you sure enough didn't put a line across the screen. Also, too, that raises a serious question right there. If this is your chart that you have here, to paint a line across the screen before you paint this in, how would this apply to a wall? I'm pretty sure you're not going to go hawk and rip out your entire wall, lay it down flat to the ground, and then take paint and run it. And how would that work with a paint sprayer? How would you get a line across the screen with a paint sprayer? It doesn't make any sense. And you all seeing this at the end of the day? How is that going to work? That's like if you're using a pan and roller. What's the point of basically... Oh, that doesn't make any sense. That break just confused me at the end of the day. Gee whiz, my goodness, we don't think when we talk on camera. There is no way in the world. Okay, so you request that all customers do this line application, right? How would this work if you're using a paint sprayer? You better never open up a storefront, because I will pop down there. I'm telling you, ask you questions at the end of the day. If that's my chance to get you in a corner and basically question your product, oh, I will be there. Because that is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life. This would not apply to a paint spray. It'd be virtually impossible. Oops, that's me hitting my keyboard. That'd be virtually impossible. How would you do it? You make it right here in the application. You make it seem like it's extremely important that you have to paint this line down the screen. And you tell people at the end of the day, it has to be between 3 inches wide, which is absolutely virtually impossible, even for you, due to the fact that it's paint. The minute it hits the surface, it's going to expand. Nobody in their right mind is going to be able to pour an even 3-inch wide line of paint. Now, that's not going to happen. He had a nerve to put approximate. No, it's not going to happen. At least a pipe dream instructions, and that's not going to happen. So if you're instructing your wife to go in,
from the center of the first one to the center of the third.
Let me turn my music off for a minute. I got over here playing because it's, there we go. How are you doing this with a paint sprayer?
The center of the first one to the center of, instructed her, she's going to run about a 2-inch wide strip from the center of the first one to the center of the third one.
It says 3-inch here. So this is a requirement that has to be done with this paint. So how would you achieve that with the paint sprayer? What if somebody's using a roller and pan? How would that even work? It's not going to work at all, period. It doesn't even make any sense. And you said 2-inch, you have 3-inch here. He made multiple mistakes in his own demonstration because literally all this is bogus. It's just fake. It is. It's bogus. It's definitely fake and bogus. But again, how would you apply with a paint sprayer? Because I'm sure I'm not going to sit there and load up a can and just go across the wall and go, and then paint the rest of it in. That doesn't even make any sense. It's a waste of time. I don't know how that's even going to work, people.
Hey folks, Danny here at Partay. So they're really just very summarized things. We'll cover different types of stuff, general categories anyway. But regardless of whatever it is, you're going to want to paint it on a flat surface. In other words, you're going to want to make sure that it lays on a very rigid flat surface, not something that's got a lot of give or bounce to it. So when you roll this, because there's one step in it where you're just going to put a little bit of pressure, right? And if you have, say, a screen that you made that's a pine frame or something along that line, and you put material on it, you painted that material, when you lay it flat, the material on either side of your middle bar is going to sag. And even if you have two bars in the back, it's still going to sag a little bit whenever you try to...
That's just basic. No, it's not going to sag. It's not going to sag, and I'll tell you why it's not going to sag. Because when you do a fixed frame screen, they actually make the screen slightly smaller than the frame, so that way when the screen actually expands, it's tight like a drum. I built dozens of fixed frame screens. They don't sag. If they sag, there'd be a serious issue with the screen. Those things are tight as drums. Some of the screens actually are actually really hard to kind of connect them to the frame, because again, sometimes they make the springs too short. But yeah, they make them a little bit smaller than the actual frame, so that way you get that really tight, stretched look to it. That's why. So it doesn't sag. I don't know what the freak he's talking about by that right there. You built one. You should know it in the day. What, you built one? I don't even know. Well, all I know is right here we got a product matching. So I'm curious to see this new product. It's supposed to be launching this month. And like I said, I can't wait to see the tests underneath of it. And one of the tests it's going to have to go through, it's going to have to be gray screen paint products. Some bid sheets, whatever, it's great at the end of the day to show you're not matching. If we do these demonstrations versus our product in black screens, we literally have a massive list underneath. Actually, I got to extend it too because I found some more. I'm still working on that. We got a massive list right here for the customer. It explains everything about black versus black, our tests and all that. And here's our test right here. This shows our product tested against black paint, black fabric, you name it, we've done it. We've even drawn into the screen. Are you guys bold enough to get some gray paint and draw into your screen on a live demonstration? Nope, you can't do that because your product will blend right into it. That's the problem. But our product doesn't blend into black paint. And we got more. Actually, I found that demonstration. Remember the demonstration I told you where I made my own black paint, 4 of them, put against my product, and we mixed white paint into it? Doesn't make a difference if you put silver in it. You're not even going to see the silver. Silver's going to be overclouded by the black. What's going to happen is by putting white and silver in it, you just turned the paint gray. You just made gray paint. There can be, let me give you a little point, Jamie and the rest of y'all who want to try to make black paint in the day that turns up gray. There is no gray and no silver ever in that product. That's the first secret I just gave you. Now you figure out how to do that and maintain a white level that can knock out and can maintain the black surfaces, and also too can actually produce higher white levels than a white screen. Knock yourself out. Enjoy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Not higher white levels than a white screen. We haven't gotten to that technology yet. Wink, wink. But anyway, as I'm saying, it maintains the white level where bottom line is our screen doesn't come out looking like that. But you have to have those tests done. So now you know one of the secrets. There is no white paint in it. We don't put that in there, or we don't put in silver, because what happens is it disrupts the balance of the black levels, which you just showed in your demonstration when your rollers came up gray. You disrupted the balance of black. That's what you did. And therefore, since you don't understand black technology or understand how it works, you can never ever make a black screen. Which is kind of interesting because I told you before that black is the new technology. Even Google says it, that black is a much more superior technology. And anyone out there, if you have a gray screen paint, you might just toss them and start trying to engineer black technology. Something close to a really serious, deep, dark gunmetal. But definitely you want to go with black screens can be gunmetal screens, so that would be pointless. But judging by what I've seen on Jamie's video, you can't make that product, which means your glass ceiling finally has been cut off. You're stuck in the gray zone. Not like the friend zone, but you're in the gray zone. So you see all these demonstrations? These are demonstrations that go back from 7s. They go back farther than that. There is more. We've done tons of these tests. All right, gentlemen, Simple and plain. You see all these tests I'm showing you on black versus black? Question. How many gray versus gray demonstrations do you have right now on YouTube? None. We have more than you do. And those of you who did gray versus gray and have matched gray screen paints, where are your videos? You deleted them. All right, there you go. That's enough said right there. There's nothing more to really say on that one. There we go. See right here, where it says right here? This is actually on, I think it's 7. Kind of blackout cloth. Do the same as our product. We have it right there. Yeah, we did that demonstration. You know why? Because the surface that we gave away for free was black. So, if you give away a free black surface, you have to be able to get into the mind of the customer. A customer is going to say, why would I even buy the paint? I can do it with the surface right there. What's the difference? The question is going to come up. You can't avoid it. So we did the test. Check, we have black fabric here. We have black fabric there. Now, let me see something for a minute. Where is, let me see. Let me refresh this for a minute. Yeah, this is the problem we're having right here. We're working on it. Trust me, we're working on it. The page is there. We're working on it. It's a headache. One of the things we're trying to fix right now has something to do with the page for the splash page has to be removed. It's a bit of a headache, but we'll get rid of it today. Matter of fact, I should be working on that right now, to tell you the truth, honestly. Great. We have to be in editing mode. Where is my editing mode on here? Let me see. We're in editing mode today. Really can't keep track of that thing for Jack. Alright, we'll bring up another for editing mode. Let me go over here. We deleted his nonsense over there. Let's go back into our editing mode. There we go. That's my editing mode coming in right now. Yeah, so it's a lot of testing that's not done. And there should be dozens and dozens and dozens of videos, especially outside, venue projectors, all different kind of caliber of tests. That's why we tell people at the end of the day, go in and use our demonstrations on what you want to look for in screen paint products. I mean, like I said, I sat there and said myself right on camera, yes, all customers buying a screen paint product should request tests. Even us. I don't have no problem with that. I have no problem with a customer coming and saying, hey, what's the difference between your product and black paint? I don't have a problem with that. When I'm going to be in my showroom with people watching me, I'm going to be doing the same test demonstrations that you see here. The exact same thing. So if you guys can't do that on basic house paint, you're afraid to do those demonstrations, how are you ever going to get a storefront? How are you going to mainstream? You can't back your products. Jamie, we've been asking you forever. Why are you so afraid of the slip silver? He's terrified of that product. He won't do it. Go ahead and put some pressure on him. He won't do it. He needs to do it. Because again, for the overseas customers, or anybody, it saves them money. They got to pay $70 surcharge fee for that product. On something they can go to Amazon and pick up at $46 for a gallon versus a quart. And on top of that, it's free shipping. So again, I don't have to pay for anything. That's why they try to debunk our tests by saying all the tests are fake. What? The tests are fake? Hey, go on and do them. Show me, do a demonstration, and do all our tests, and show me one by one live how all my tests are fake. Oh, but they don't want to do that. It's too much work at the end of the day. I don't bother. No excuses. That's all I'm here. I'm sorry. Do I have to? Do I have to prove that your product is house paint? No, you did it yourself for me. Well, you don't do much with that anymore. Why would I go out and buy the Cinemax? It's network gray. You just showed me it's network gray. Why would I even buy it? 2.0. It's basically black and white paint. It says it right there in the thumbnail how to make it. I'm not buying that at the end of the day. What about the personal mix? Well, we just saw that stuff. We watched Bear Silver Screen. We watched him walk out of a Home Depot with that one. Why would I buy that? I don't waste my money on that. And as for the hybrid mix, there's no test underneath of it at all. None of them. Why would I buy it? It'll probably do the same thing as the other two screen paints. Unless you can come up there and prove me wrong, then other than that, it is what it is. Until meanwhile, I can go to the bottom of my black shop And I can basically pull up all our test demonstrations for all our customers to see. So we got to fix that real quick. I got to get in there and fix that. I think I'm just going to put a splash sheet on there because they're refusing to let me remove it. So we might just jazz up and put something cool on there. So I got to think of something really cool. When I put, oh, we can put some of that 3D hologram stuff on there too. The ones that start to move. Oh, definitely. Okay, that's sick. All right, you're going to put a new splash page. I've been dying to update the marketplace. We got 584 hits on our site today. Woo, that's freaking good. It's freaking good. My site generates 1 million. 1 million a day. Yeah, it's crazy in there. I had somebody going to my site. Yo, it's a trip in there. Yeah, it's crazy. We're actually gonna be doing some more crazy stuff in there. Once we, and I decided I'm going to leave Wix. I am. I'm going to go set up. Once the lawsuit is finalized with them, we're leaving them, and I'm going to GoDaddy. I'm going to set me up. Probably get a VIP server too on top of that. But also, I'm going to set up accounts over there, and I'm not building any of this. I'm actually going to bring in a professional to go in and build our site, because I'm pretty sure, he's way more gifted than I am in this field, and he can put stuff in there that I probably couldn't even dream. So I want a site that's fully interactive. People can have fun with it. Things move, stuff like that. I want cool stuff like that. All right, let me see. But a lot of these tests were done. Here it is right there. There it is right there. I know we put it up there. That's the test where I make dark screen paint mixes against my own product. Paint every last one of them down. I made them on camera. We paint every last one of them down, and we put them against our screen. Did it already. That's the reason why we did the demonstration. Matter of fact, there's another demonstration of, oh man, how do I look for that? I'm looking for 2 of them. I'm going to have to go to the archives to find it. There's so much work to find to the archives. We got the laser projector on the side of the house. I definitely want to show that one off. And we have, there was something else we did with black paint that was crazy. Okay. Well, anyway, if you don't want to do the slip silver, we know that. I saw a black slip silver. I'm picking it up to put against my screen. That's what I'm doing. The ingredients that he made, yeah, we'll make it. No problem. It's gray. I don't even know how it's going to pick up a contrast level next to a black screen. That's not even going to work. I can tell you right from the door what's going to happen. It's not going to match the colors. It's not going to pick up the contrast. Gunmetal screens are extremely dark screens, and they don't even register next to our screens. And that product came up gray. It's not going to register. But we'll make it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use it in all my demonstrations, like the Dynasty Black. And we're going to call it Black Series Crow's Copycat Mix. That's what we're going to call it. It'll be in every demonstration that we do from here on in. Just for fun. I got more screen paints to test, so that'll work. We'll need that. We'll use it for testing. That's what we're going to do with it. Let's see. All right. So let me get to work. I got to get this splash page finished, because I had 3 people hit my site and say, yo, we can't even find your marketplace. Of course, because the white level is coming up the splash level, and it's actually wiped, and we removed everything off of it. We got a blank page up there, so we got to go up there and we got to fix that right now. So I got to get to work. I think I'm going to set up the day. No, I'll do it tomorrow. I want to go back into my multi-projector setup. I do love that setup. I'm keeping it that way. I like it, having the multiple screens pop up. That's pretty cool. That's another thing too. If you look at our demonstrations, we do multi-projector setups in just about every room. So not only can we back our products up, but we can run 3 projectors at the same time in the environment, all 3 different calibers, and do it in a fully lit environment without the screens ever washing out. That's pretty cool. All right, people. I mean, at the end of the day, these people can take it as I'm slandering them or whatever. No, man, I'm not slandering y'all. Y'all need to do these tests. If not, you're going to appear with this mumbo-jumbo philosophy bullcrap that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You're saying stuff in your specification sheets that don't add up. You got paints coming in different colors, which you claim they don't. Hey, it takes 5 to 7 days for a screen to freaking dry. Nobody gonna wait for that time. You're telling people you can spray the screen on, it has to be aligned. I don't even know how that's even going to work at the end of the day. It's just insane. There's even instructions how to stir it up. And no, the product is still sold out. It says it's going to be opening up in April, right here. Let me see what we got here. April. So, I hope you're open this month, because we will be buying, so you know. And if you don't do the test, against the network grade 773 slip silver, any of those, if you don't do proper black level tests, we will test your product for you. You do not want that, trust me, because we're brutal on our end when it comes to testing. All the tests that you would miss, I will put your product through. And the reason why, because the consumer shouldn't get ripped off at the end of the day. We'll test it for you. I'll definitely go test it. And I know we can't order from you, Danny, because I already have $700 worth of canceled orders because you were too scared to process the orders. You gave me back my money. So I'll just have somebody else get it for us. $60? Oh, we can knock all these out in one hit. Get all your products down here in one hit and do the testing. You got a black one on here, by the way? Because we definitely going to run some tests on that black one. Let me see. Now we have, that's dark gray. Dark gray. Actually, they all say the same thing. Oh, this has 2 gains on it. It has a 0.8, 0.85. What the freak? Dude, you can't have 2. Never mind, forget it. Let's just move on. I'm done with that. I'm not even going to go down the road. We all know how that one works. Is there a black one on here? There we go. We got a black. Good, good. I need to test the daylights out of this bad boy. Oh, we got to run some tests on this. It has to. You have to run all the tests. We're going to drop it at 1,000 lumens, drop it back at about 16 feet in this place, and we'll do a white level test to see where the white levels are pulling up. Plus, we're going to test you against black paint, which, again, the product that you made that was black, I never seen one test on your product versus black paint. Let me see. It says the same thing. They all say the same thing. All the specification sheets are the same. Literally the same. All right, that's basically it for me. My people are watching, so you know, Danny, they're at your front door. So whenever you decide to open up that site, they're going to come in and buy. At $60, we'll clean up in there quite well. We'll knock all your paints out in one hit. I will test them. So I'm expecting to see tests under your products. And the reason why, as I said before, they should be tested, because again, the consumer should get a proper screen paint in the mail, not everyday house paint. That is seriously ripping somebody off. So you have to know that you're actually getting what you paid for. But like I said before, Jamie is a perfect example why all screen paints have to be tested. Everybody now that has purchased a Cinemax, Personal Mix, or Metallica Mix has now basically paid over for gray paint, because they could literally just went to Home Depot Lowe's and got a gallon of it. And as for your customers that come in and support you at the end of the day, actually we checked, those aren't the customers, they're fake accounts. Majority of accounts in there were fake. As a matter, one popped up in our account and we checked it, it was a fake account. The Irish is fake. It's a fake account, as we checked. Or less, this is the part I don't get. If you're going to come into my channel and tell me not to say your name ever again, at least come in with your real account. Don't walk in there with a fake account, because that tells me a lot about you at the end of the day. That means you're hiding. So don't come in there using fake threats. Irish. Do you understand? All right. Because you end up on the same end of the pole as troll or crow at the end of the day. Don't do stuff like that. All right then, grow up. And don't come in with fake accounts. Let me see right here. What are we talking about on that one right there? All right, I gotta go fix this splash page. This is gonna be fun today. Where the freak does my whatchamacallit keep going to? Oh, I got this right here. There we are. We're in there. Advanced editing. All right, we got work to do today. I gotta go and I gotta fix this thing. I think I'm just going to add something to the page. Let me see if I do this. If I go into preview, it should pull up. All right, that's right there. That's the pull up. All right. Can we get to the page, please? Or we just have to remove all this? Okay. So this is it right here. So we have to come out of editing to make this thing. There we go. This is how we go and manipulate the page. All right, I got some work to do. I got a splash page to build and design. I'm going to do something really cool with this, something real special effects that you can hit buttons and all that cool stuff. All right, got to go. Got to get back to work. Thank you all and God bless. And as I said before you buy any screen paint product from anybody, even us, because for some reason they keep, I don't know what they're acting like we're just basically just hitting only them. No, even us too. Make sure you ask for test demonstrations. All test demonstrations should be done before the product is ever sold. If they're just now showing you these tests, that's a red flag right there. And one of the questions we tell all customers to ask for side-by-side house paint comparisons so you know that you're getting a screen paint and not house paint. This is what ticks them off. They don't want to hear you say that. They don't want you to be armed with that kind of information, but that's what you should be doing. Ask us at the end of the day. I got no problem showing you my test results are right there. If you want fresh ones, I'll do a fresh one for you. Not a problem. All right, gotta go. Thank you all, and God bless.